Okay, we're going to look at a tutorial now looking at the HDR effect. Now, HDR stands for High Dynamic Range, and it's where you can see the whole tonal range right through to the shadows, through to the highlights. So with this one, we're going to make this into this, so you can see you've got a much greater range. The area in the shadows here is brought out, and you've also got a kind of a punchier contrast and greater colours. Um, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to move from that to this. So let's work on this one then now. Um, by the way, to do a true HDR effect, you really need 3 raw images. Okay, one underexposed by a couple of stops, one normal exposure, and one overexposed by a couple of stops. Then you can kind of mix them together and get the full range of exposures for the shadows right the way through to the highlights. Okay, but we're going to do a fake version of this, which looks pretty good too. And you can do this on a JPEG as well. You don't need a raw file. So here we are. So first thing I'm going to do is going to copy this one down. I'm going to drag it down to the bottom and copy this image here. So I've got a background copy. I'm going to call this one shadow highlights, because we're going to go and adjust the shadows and highlights on this one. And incidentally, it's always a good idea to make a copy of your original image first of all, because then you're not working with the base one. If anything goes wrong, you can just delete the copy that you've made. Okay, right, so on this one I'm going to go to Image and Adjustments and Shadows and Highlights. This is quite a crucial box actually, excuse me. Let's get rid of that. And we're going to increase the amount of shadows. Let's just take it through and see what we're doing. Let's actually playing around with this, but we'll increase the shadow amount. If you take this and look at the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the shadow details increasing there. And we're going to up the tonal width as well, maybe not too much. And then we're going to go to the highlights and put a little bit of stuff in the highlights there, increase the highlights, maybe about 30. The numbers aren't important here really, it's how it kind of looks really. And the tonal width. Okay. And the mid-tone contrast, make it a bit punchier. And that mid-tone, just take that up a little bit there. Okay. Let's say we're fairly happy with that. Yeah, I think that's okay. Right, so now what we're going to do is, that's fair enough, and what we're going to do is we're going to create another background layer. The shortcut for that is Control J if you're interested, and then we're going to move that background layer we just made, move it right to the very top, so that's the one that you see. Okay, so that's great. We're back to our original image now. That's one we're looking at, and underneath it we've got that change we made with the shadows and the highlights. Now what we're going to do to this one is I'm going to put a little bit of a filter on this one. Filter, Other, and High Pass. Now High Pass gives it a kind of slightly punchier look. I have it on 10 as a default here, so keep it on 10. It'll probably work fine there. Okay, and I'm also going to convert this this layer to black and white. Okay, so now I'm going to go and convert this to black and white. So image adjustments, and then desaturate. Okay. Now, obviously that's not great, so what we need to do is make sure we can see the other image underneath this. So we're going to go to blending mode, and it's normal on here. I'm going to go to blending mode of overlay. Try a few of these different ones out. The blending mode's really kind of a key thing in Photoshop. You can do all sorts of things with the blending mode. And basically, there you have it. That's the finished image, which should look pretty much like where we started from. No, sorry, because what I've not done. Now you can keep it like that if you want, which gives a punch image. But what you can also do to get that kind of HDR look is put some colour back in here, so we can do some colour adjustments. Now let's go, keep it on this layer again, and we can go and put some adjustments in here now. Let's go to Image and Adjustments, and we can go to Colour Balance, or you can do it from the shortcut on the right hand side. Okay, let's just, this is kind of really to what kind of suits your image and stuff. Get some red, so I'll balance that with a little yellow maybe. Yeah, okay. A slightly kind of surreal look, but not too far away from too far away from reality, really. Okay, I'm fairly happy with that. Now, click OK, and that's ready to go, I think. That's your fake HDR look. Okay, so, oh yes, slightly different to the example I showed at the start, but everyone will be slightly different depending on your color balance right at the end. Okay. So that's it, the fake HDR look. It's great with buildings, I think. It's also good with portraits, and it's great with skies where you want to get some more detail in the sky that you don't necessarily see on the image. But when you boost the shadows and highlights, you really see that then. Okay, that's great. Have fun.